Welcome to the DHS Provider Hub training. Here you will learn about the Provider Hub system that supports enrollment and attendance. This micro lesson highlights the process for childcare providers to manually enroll children within their program or care. This means adding in one child at a time, or adding in children who are in one family or account. Once a child account is added, a provider may take attendance for that child. By the end of the course, providers should be able to identify required contact information that is needed to complete the enrollment process, enter account information individually for a child or children, add a new child or children to an existing account, determine when to have one or two accounts for a given child, and determine when to combine or keep two duplicate accounts. The Provider Hub access levels required for manual enrollment are authorized agent or delegated authority. Please note that those designated as an attendance entry role in the Provider Hub will not be able to use Manage Enrollment via upload or manual processes. Those in the role of attendance entry will have access to Take Attendance, Parent/Guardian Kiosk, and to update attendance tabs. Chrome or Edge are the preferred browsers for this feature. Log into the Provider Hub with your email username and password. Navigate to the Enrollment and Attendance tab. Choose a specific business license ID number and select Enter Enrollment and Attendance. Some views may look slightly different based on the level of access for your role. The Provider Hub will time out after 12 hours and can be further managed through the user's device settings. Let's start with required enrollment information. Next, we'll cover information needed to add each child or multiple children. For each child, you'll need first name, last name, date of birth, and enrollment start date. Optional information includes address, gender, and enrollment end date. Please note you can make attendance updates to any dates within the child's enrollment period, but no additional attendance outside of those dates. For adults associated with a given child, you'll need first name, last name, and optionally email address. This is to utilize the parent kiosk for check-in and check-out. This email account will be required to both generate and reset the PIN. Also, address and phone number are optional for adults. What are some enrollment best practices? The system uses a group account model. You can add all siblings to a single account, as long as they share all the same parents and guardians. Children from different families should be added individually as new accounts, not to the same account as unrelated children. Do not add children to the same account unless they share all of the same adults. We'll talk through a few scenarios where you'll enroll a child or children all in one account. Overall, a set of children could be in the same account when they share all the same parents, guardians, and authorized adults, even if those adults live at different addresses. Let's look at examples of when a child or children might all be on the same account. A child with two parents in one home and another parent or guardian who lives at a different address would all be on a single account. This example is a set of children with 2 parents or guardians and multiple siblings who live at multiple addresses, but again, share all the same parents or guardians. The last is a set of children with 2 parents or guardians and multiple siblings in a single address. You would create 2 accounts for 2 children anytime children do not share all of the same parents or guardians. Let's look at examples of when to use 2 different accounts. This example is an example using blended families with varied adults. A set of children with 1 or more parents or guardians in common, but those same children have 1 or more parents or guardians that only relate to 1 or more of the children. Since all of the parents do not relate to all of the children, these children would be on 2 separate accounts. This second example is 2 accounts for 2 separate families. Manual Enrollment tab Overview. The Manual Enrollment tab includes an upcoming function to import your enrollment spreadsheet. Today we will focus on the current function of adding children 1 at a time. You can do that via selecting Add a Child or via selecting Add a Child to Existing Account. We will show you how to add a child both ways in this lesson. Other elements on this page include a search bar for finding children, as well as the list of enrolled children down below. These children are those who have an enrollment date prior to or equal to today. You can take attendance for any of these children. The other tab on this page is the tab for not started children. Those are children for whom the start date is in the future. We'll begin by adding a child. Use this option if adding 1 or more children who don't have pre-existing family members already in the system. Adding a child includes a child section, a parent/guardian section, and an optional authorized adult section. In the Manage Enrollment tab, from the Add Children 1 at a Time section on the right side, select Add a Child. Please note as you begin that you should add only children from the same family or household to this screen. And please gather all child, parent/guardian, and contact information before beginning, as this form cannot be saved in progress. To start, press New Child. You'll enter required child information in the fields marked with a red asterisk. All other fields are optional. As you begin to type your address, it will search and provide a list of results. If you don't see your address in the list of results, you can also press the pencil icon at the right. Then you can put in your own address. Down below. An enrollment start date is required. Optionally, you can include a scheduled end date. The date of birth can be entered in manually or via the calendar. If you don't know your child's scheduled end date, leave it blank, and you can add or edit it at a later date. Please note that if a scheduled end date is set and the date is past that end date, you will no longer be able to add additional attendance past the end date. When you're ready, press Submit. At this screen, you will have the option of adding a new child. If there are children that are also in this family or household, add them here. If they are not in this family or household, do not add additional children from your program to this screen. When you're ready, press Next. For each child, you will need to add one or more parent or guardians for this child. You may also add additional optional parents and/or guardians and approved adults who would like to use the parent/guardian experience. To begin, select New Parent/Guardian. Enter in the required information in the fields marked with a red asterisk. If you wish, you can have this parent/guardian's address match the child you entered in the prior screens by clicking this box. If you plan to use the parent/guardian kiosk for your program, tick this checkbox at the bottom of the page. This will allow the parent/guardian to check children in and out at your facility using their own PIN. Once you tick the box to allow parent/guardians to check children in and out, the email address will become a required field. The email address on file will be used to communicate PIN information needed for that person to use the parent/guardian kiosk. In the event a PIN needs to be reset, this email on file will receive that auto-generated PIN. When ready, press Submit. If you'd like, press New Parent/Guardian if you'd like to add additional parents and/or guardians to this account. You may also select New Authorized Adult. This is optional and can be added at a future date. For each authorized adult, you will be required to add a first name, last name, and if you're using that parent/guardian kiosk, you can allow them to add an email address so that that authorized adult can also use the parent/guardian kiosk to check in or check out a given child. When you're ready, press Next. You will see the confirmation page, which includes a summary of the child, parent or guardian, and authorized adult information you entered on the prior screens. Look back at this information, and if there are any additions and/or corrections to be made, press the Previous button. Change or adjust any information that you need to, and then return to this page and save enrollment when ready. Once you've added the child, you'll see this success message. Select Return to Manage Enrollment. You will now see this new child added to your enrolled list. If you set the enrollment start date for the future, you would see this child in the Not Started Children tab. Please note that if you don't see this child in either of these tabs, you may need to refresh your screen at the top of your browser to see the newly adjusted list. When adding a child who may be a sibling or household member to a child who already attends your program, you want to add a child to existing account. Begin by selecting Add a Child to Existing Account under the Add Children One at a Time section of the Manage Enrollment tab. From there, search for the existing student who relates to the student you're seeking to add today. You'll see a summary of the existing account to which you are adding this new child. Please only add children from the same family or household to this account. Before you begin, please gather all child, parent/guardian, and contact information, as this form cannot be saved in progress. Select New Child. This popover will show the required fields marked with a red asterisk. Enter in those fields. If you wish, you can also include the child's address as an optional field. If you want this child's address to match other children that are on this account, select Same as First Child's Address. You may enter in the date of birth with the calendar that pops up, or by manually typing it in with month, day, and full year. Likewise, the enrollment start date can be chosen or typed. When ready, press Submit. You'll see this new child added to the account. Please note that you'll need to submit this entire update before this child will be saved to this account. Optionally, you can add additional parents and/or guardians to the existing parent or guardian on this account. Likewise, you can add additional or new authorized adults to this account at this time. When you're ready, press Next. This will show you the summary page of all the information on this account, including the newly added child and the existing child or children. If you want to make any updates or changes to this account, press the Previous button, make adjustments or additions, and then return to this page when ready. If everything is accurate on this page, press Save Enrollment to continue. You'll see this success message. When ready, select Return to Manage Enrollment. On the Manage Enrollment tab, under Enrolled Children or Not Started Children, you will see the newly added child who was added to the existing account. Duplicate accounts. After a provider creates and submits a new child account or adds a new child to an existing account, the system will look for duplicates. Duplicate accounts are when two children in the system have the same first name, last name, and birth date. There will be cases where providers put a child on two separate accounts, such as when the child is living in two homes with different guardians. See examples of when to add a child in two accounts earlier in this recording. When the system checks for two accounts, providers will see the following summary of the other account with the child who has the same first name, last name, and birth date as the newly added account. If you wish to merge the new account with the existing account, check the box outlined below. Then press Next. Then save the enrollment. These two duplicate accounts will be merged into one account. All adults on the two accounts merged will be added to the new single account. Re-enrolled a child. Part of the enrollment process includes the system looking for duplicate accounts with a match of a child's first name, last name, and a date of birth. This duplicate child account includes children that are actively enrolled, enrolled and paused, enrolled and not started, as well as previous or terminated enrollments. In the event a duplicate match is made for a child that was previously enrolled and whose enrollment end date has passed, the system will prompt you, the provider, to re-enroll that child. Select that child, select OK, and continue with the enrollment process. No additional action is needed.
Thank you. We appreciate your time in reviewing this information.